put in the chat, like where you're from, where you're calling from. That would be really
where you're sitting at the moment. From Brussels and London. Hello, everyone. Hello, Madeline. Hello, Magali. Nice seeing you. Hey, Donna. Awesome. Good to have everyone here. We're sitting in Amsterdam at the moment. It's finally a good Friday morning after a whole week of crazy rain. Good to have you here in our B Corp journey session with our practical tools for the B leader session. Good to have everyone here. I'm just letting people in a little bit here on the left side still. So good to welcome you everyone here on this Friday morning. Nice. I think let's get started. We will see who's dropping in when we get going. So welcome everyone. Welcome B leaders. Welcome change managers. Welcome B Corp companies. Good to have you everyone here. So Amber, can you take it at the moment, because like I'm getting people at the moment in, and then it's like
well, you are in the B leader session, change management, change consult session, like Skyler what it said, of Move to Impact. Well, my name is Amber. I'm more the data part of Move to Impact. Sky is currently busy admitting participants.
No, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm the sustainability and visual part of Move to Impact, and together we design practical tools for impact consulting for companies who want to get going with sustainability approaches and want to become a sustainable company. So what are we actually doing? We are supporting companies in their change process, and do therefore sustainability assessments in the beginning and impact consulting, where we combine basically KPIs, strategies, goals, and also reporting and sustainability criteria in order to create practical data-driven tools for these companies. But what are we actually doing here today? We are doing here today that we actually got asked in this impact consulting from companies like, oh, is it actually handy for us to become a B Corp as well or not? And since we all know the BIA, it's long questions and companies don't know what to do with it. So we developed a data-driven tool to get a better overview and better grip for companies in the beginning to see how the data process, the numbers are actually in the B Corp journey. And therefore, we let you see what kind of tool we have, and we especially want to talk to you B leaders, because we want to support the companies in this process. However, we don't want to guide them in the B Corp journey. So we just want to basically create this tool and make it easier also for your work, but also for the companies in that sense.
So what tool are we talking about? Well, today we're going to discuss two tools. The first one is the B Corp prioritization tool, which really helps you to focus on, well, put your money where your mouth is, make a sustainable impact instead of just counting points, being like super busy with this Excel sheet that you take export, trying to convince others with an Excel sheet. People who don't know the BIA, they see the sheet and are like, okay, too much, I don't know how. So with our B Corp prioritization tool, it's easier to become more sustainable, since it's a clear path which shows less risk, since you can like be more efficient. Being more efficient saves time. And since you know what the next step should be in order to get towards those 80 points or do the recertification with a higher amount of score, you save money, as in you put in time, which is money as well, but also less investments that may not create the result that you wish for, and therefore you are able to create more impact in your consulting practices. Well, now I'm not going to talk about it anymore, but just show.
Yes, and the thing is, especially when we want to talk to you and want to show it to you as well, is because like it's so data driven and so data focused that we don't want like companies to think like, oh, it's like easy to get points, and that's why we also definitely want to connect with you, because like you're also making sure, you know, you have the sustainability knowledge to make sure that the company is in a holistic way like tackled, and that they really make the change and just not using the tool for just getting the points basically. What you see at the moment, that was our first prototype basically of it, what we showed the last time, just to give you an idea of how we move forward. But Amber, let's directly dive into the new tool to show them what it's all about, because this is just basically really data driven with the tools. But we actually listened to everyone last time, and we want to listen to you this time as well. So feel free to share feedback or let us know what challenges you are facing, so that we can include it much more in the tools that can support you in your work.
Yes.
So yeah.
Well, currently you're looking at the version 2 of our B Corp prioritization tool, and like we listened to your feedback last time, we listened to the questions our clients asked us, and we saw, okay, there are 5 main questions, like how are we performing, where do we miss points, what are our main qualities, what are low-hanging fruit questions, and which question needs written evidence. Yeah. This is the main screen of the tool, and in the left bottom you see, okay, the amount of points that the organization earned, and on the right side the points that's available due to the different tracks and gating questions.
Yeah. And we definitely make it much user friendly, because we are used to data and like seeing everyone in there, every data in there. However, we know that not everyone is used to like seeing all kinds of graphs and data plots and everything. So we made it much more user friendly, that you can click on each parts and can go from there.
How are we performing? So, well, the first overview is the general overview of your B Impact Assessment Score, which I will go from like top to down, explain all the possibilities. And Scotty, if you could watch the chat when there are questions, then well, on the left side, you see again the points earned and points available. You see a graph with, well, the points available and points earned in a visual way per impact area. And there were some questions like, how can we like make the overview just focused on one impact area? So here you can focus on click on which impact area you want to focus on. If you're like, for example, sitting with your workers group, then everything also below will change to workers. But currently we're still looking at all. Then the next section goes about the impact topic. So again, the points available, points earned per impact topic. What's also possible with each graph is to really create a focus mode to get it bigger, if you want to look at it like in more detail. But of course, it's all about the questions with the impact assessment. So we really created like these graphic elements that support the user in, well, why are we at this section? And also like click on a bar in the bar graph in order to filter to a specific topic or question. Now, for example, here are all the questions that are listed. And if we click on a question, like it says here again, you will here see the question that you selected, the answer that you chose within the BIA, the points available and points earned currently, and the answer possibilities. So well, then here, and if we go down here, you'll have the same for not on like the amount of points, but like in percentages. And so you can scroll down like, okay, where are you like doing the full amount and where are you still like halfway, or well, not even close to 100%. So that's the main overview. If you're here in the menu button, you can here, if you click to menu, you'll go back to the main section for the questions, but you can also always click on the following. And well, this is, I think, one of the most valuable overviews in the tool, which is really focusing on which points didn't you earn, so that you can immediately dive into, okay, this is according to the BAA, the impact area that we will miss the most points and we really should focus on. And again, also per impact topic and per question. And why is this such a nice way of visualizing the missing points? We also host workshops, and we believe that you could do them as well with your clients, is to give them the tool and make them discuss, okay, if we're looking at the amount of missing points, where to focus on, because sometimes it looks like, okay, maybe we should focus on the 9.6 question. But looking at, well, here the answer is none of the above, but maybe all these answer possibilities will cost like a lot of time to implement it, which is not like possible to obtain those points within, for example, a year. But also maybe it's like too costly, and if you're like a startup or a scale up, maybe you don't have the budget to work on it, so that you can really like go through the questions as in, okay, maybe it's for us it's more viable to have like a 3 and a 2 points question to get 5 points, and then just like 1 5 point question. And what is also really useful, again, with the filter, if you, for example, host a brainstorm workshop with the HR department, really focus on, okay, click on workers and let them guide through the questions, as in what is a plan that could be possible within, well, the upcoming months, weeks, or even years. So really let them make a planning or a roadmap, like, okay, this question, which is giving us 2 points extra, could be implemented within like 3 or 4 weeks, while the bigger question is something for the long term, but we can work on it and put it on our sustainability roadmap. Skadi, do you want to add something to that?
No, not really at the moment. Like you see, it's really in that sense handy for your work, and that it really saves you the time also, like to go through all the questions again and see what is handy for or practical for the company you're working with. So you directly have also an overview, and can prepare yourself easily and faster, basically, for the company with all the points and in an overview, and seeing through the different questions. Yeah. Then we're going to the next slide, where we're going to the organization qualities, in the sense of like which points are actually done well, which is really interesting for them, either to make their case when they are when they're thinking of becoming a B Corp and they fill it in the first time, for example, a company, and want to show their managers like, hey, this is already what we're doing really well in the company, you know, we can go from there. Or this page is also really useful when a company goes and needs to create evidence for what they're actually done already. So they can see like, oh, these points we have done. So let's see if there are all the things in there which we actually have to give proof for or give evidence for. So we have also a slide for that in general, but there are obviously like some policies and everything, which is really obvious where you need extra evidence as well for, and you have a complete overview here in that sense as well.
Well, then from last time we heard feedback like, okay, this is a nice visualization of what's, well, of the export of the BIA, but it would be really helpful if it's really like leading. So in the B Leader course, they of course identified some low-hanging fruit questions. So we made an overview that if the organizations didn't score the full points on these questions yet, they will appear in here. So here there's an overview. Okay, again, per impact area, well, what are the low-hanging fruit questions that you didn't have the full score on yet, and what are the answer possibilities? Well, here you see, okay, the amount of points you are still able to score, the points you already earned, and the points available. So this overview can immediately well, serve as your, okay, low-hanging fruit questions, deep dive in this brainstorm. Okay, how are we going to answer this? Is it easy to improve like what we're currently doing and to do something extra? And well, going through them, it's like the really like all the low-hanging fruit, and at the end you see like you could obtain, if you go for all these well, the full points on the low-hanging fruit, you could have an additional points of 16. So it's not like really thinking about the organization structure, but really dive into, okay, these are the easy questions. What needs to be done? Immediately make like this plan of action and well, get running.
Yeah, and you see, we have it really like data driven and point structured. It's not that we say like, oh, you have to earn, like you have to sneak all the points together or something. That's why we also like make it B Leader editions in that sense, and really want to work with you together to really make the companies more sustainable, and not just like getting the points from everywhere and just like making it trying to just like get easy points basically, but really to get them started for you and work with them. Because obviously, like if more companies would have a B Corp certification, or at least like the restrictions in trying to work on these parts, that would make every company is already a little bit better. But obviously when you guys work with them together, or when the companies try to work on that, it's already helping and improving their social, ecological and financial sustainable part in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and last but not least, since, well, there has to be done a lot of, well, evidence, written evidence in order to prove during the to B Lab that you're doing what you say you're doing. So we also identified the questions that well, ask for written evidence, as in policies or commitments or monitoring. So if you scored points on them, it will appear in here with the question and the provided answer. So this creates like an automatic list of what you should have, well, prepared for the audit with B Lab, since, well, you said in the assessment that you will have like this formal program and you have this statement and you well, you have this life cycle and life cycle assessment, formally outcomes, so that you can use it as a checklist. So, okay, are all these evidence, do we have it all in place or not? If not, okay, then change the question in the BIA, or make sure there's, well, written evidence about it. So
yeah. That's definitely also for the people then collecting everything and doing then the interview with B Labs, obviously. The sites before is used basically like to create all the data and to pick up all the data. So how we are performing, what are the main qualities, what are the low-hanging fruits. So these slides can be used from either you or the groups you're working with or the company working with, to really see from their initial point scoring to where they can be and how they actually can raise their points. If they, for example, like scored it the first time when they filled it in 40 points, so how can they raise it to the 80 or at least like to the 90, that they have a little bit wiggle room for the interview part. So that gives you directly also the possibility to tell them like, hey, is it possible and in which time span? So what we did also with one client to say like, so what are the short, medium, and long-term moments? So how is it able to tackle all the actions you identified, basically. You identified with points that you say like, hey, is it a short-term possibility that you do that? Is it a mid-term, or is it a long-term shot, basically, that you can do it? So then you can directly see, okay, in which time span is it possible for the company to reach these 80 points when you identified the possible questions and points with it, or is it a more long-term shot? So that's an interesting point as well to see with that. Yeah.
I also saw the question of Karina, like, is your tool taking in evidence all the question in the BIA, even those who are normally hidden when the BIA is exported in the Excel? The tool is always based on the Excel of the client or the organization, what the B Corp prioritization tool is used for, since it's just about the focus. Okay, what is like currently available, how do we score there, and what's the missing points, and to really make it like workable for that organization. So not all the other tracks that are, well, not, so it's really to focus on the next step in the B Corp journey of the specific client.
Yeah. So before we dive into more questions, we have one more tool, which is especially also for companies who want to do the research certification. Like this tool also definitely can be used for recertifications, not only for just for companies who want to become, but like now you see here, Makers Unite, it's a sustainable merchandise company. So they already reached their points and want to recertify. What you see here is our B Corp score tracker, which basically shows what were your points 3 years ago, and what are the points right now for your company, your B Corp score, and how are you developing, and which questions are changing. Amber, can you dive a little bit deeper into that?
So this is also a subscription based with us, and normally in the BIA, of course, see the current status. And what we do is we notify you whether you take a monthly or a quarterly subscription. Like, you get a notification that we need your BIA export, and we put it in our database. So then we collect like the trend over time, where you first see like the points over time. Well, in this demo version, it's just a few days, but it will be like monthly or quarterly. And well, just in points, but also in points available, of in percentage of the points available. And you really, here we can focus on what's the progress per impact area. What you see is, well, per impact area, the points earned over time. And on the right side, you'll see, well, since last update, so whether it's monthly or quarterly, which questions did change and what was the points difference. So here in the last change, there were only changes within the customer section. And this is also really a useful tool if you have like a big group working on the BIA, or like you have to report towards the management team. Okay, dear DB leader, you're like working with us for a year now, but what are the changes that you caused? So that you really can see like, okay, per impact area, we made this and this increase. Well, here there were some changes which caused to a decrease, and well, this summed up, and at the end it's like an overview of all the questions that have changed within the period that you started with the subscription, and the points difference, so that it's really that you're possible to report on the changes that have occurred due to the B Corp certification process.
Yes. Perfect. I already get questions indeed about the working together. Amber, you started talking already about subscription without showing it. So let's have a look at it. Because I got a question from Madeline, like, hey, how are you proposing to work together? How would that work? So the idea indeed is, or initial part is that we need the extraction from the Excel from the BIA from the company you're working with, so that we can put it in the tool. Since there is no API at the moment, so no direct linkage, so we are working on that, but so far that is not possible, and this is the way that works at the moment. So what we propose is indeed an annual or monthly subscription, whatever you need as a B leader. Before we had like a fixed price, which was quite steeper than this. But since we know that either you work with multiple clients together, or just every now and then with one client, we set their annual subscription and monthly subscription. That it's really easy for you to cancel it, and that it's also not such a steep price to invest in it or to try, for example, the tool that you can directly work with it. In this price is included for the B Corp prioritization tool, that if you have like new data and you want to update it, that you directly send it. So it's not like each time that you want to update the data or something that you have to pay a new price or something in that. No, it's all in there. And also if we update the tool, for example, and have like new possibilities in there, we directly update it for all of the tools. So it's not that a new version would cost extra or something. No, that's directly in there. The B Corp score tracker, since there's more data and more handiwork in there, we have there a quarterly subscription basically, or a monthly subscription within it as well. Amber, can you add something to it?
Well, the pricing, like, okay, annual subscription doesn't mean that you only get it like once a year. It's just, okay, you pay for a month, well, subscribe for a year, and so you pay, the price will be like 25 per month. And monthly subscription is that you can cancel each month. So well, you pay each month, you're able to cancel each month. So like Netflix or Spotify. And like Skadi already said, like this B Corp score tracker, it's like the quarterly subscription means that you get like a notification each quarter, so every 3 months. And so then like over a year, you will have like 4 main points where you see like the change, while with the monthly subscription, you get it each month. I already saw a lot of
question indeed, like from Caroline, like Carolina, would you see the B leader just using this when they prepare the BIA submission, or do you see the company taking over the subscription? That depends on how you work with the companies together. Either you just want them to see it for the time being, basically, if you need it just for these 3 or whatever months you're working with them, and say like, hey, we do the monthly subscription with you guys directly, or you say like, hey, the company actually should want to have it like the whole period, then you can, or the whole time whenever they want it, then we can do that with the company as well, depending on how you like it. You can also like put a different price for the company on it. So that's why we kept it also really low, in the sense that it really supports your process. But what I also saw was, and would the logo be present? So if you obviously like have more clients, there is a possibility to do a white label option, but that definitely costs much more for like one time, basically, for us to take our logo away. But then yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah, when you have more clients available with that, and have that, or want to have it internally for your company, that's also a possibility. Yeah.
I also saw, Madeleine, if I say correctly, how do you propose working with B leaders? The tool can be used in like the way you want it. What's possible is that you just use it in the back end to inform your client without your client seeing the tool. You could also tell your client, hey, we can use this in the process. You can subscribe on the Move to Impact website, and I will take you along, since I know how it works, and you'll do it together. it's like the subscription, the one who is like filling the form in on the web shop, and is also putting the credit card or for the for the payment. So if you want, of course, to pay for it and ask your client to say, hey, we're using this tool, and you want to put a margin on it, it's all fine. So it's up to you guys how to work with the client, if you want to show it to the client or not. But what we really want to help people to put like less time in going through all the Excels, and so it's up to you how to use it, but we'll make it the less time consuming as possible.
I saw also the question from Donna whether it's like one subscription for all of them, or is it for each client? So it would be for each client. So it's not that it's like that you pay, for example, annually 25 euros and then it's like free for all of them. No, it's like per client basically based.
Since it's like directing to this, the data of like this one organization, if you use it for multiple organizations, and since we are going to put then your B-Leader logo next to the Move to Impact and sign, if you're using it for more than one organization, the organization that is still looking at an old link will not see whether it's their data or not. So therefore we really advise to pick like one client, then we put in their logo, so that you know, okay, which organization are we looking at.
Yeah. And then there was also the question, do we upload the Excel reports, or do we have to ask you to do this each time? The thing is, that's the part we basically coded together and created basically in this tool, that we would upload the Excel sheet in it. And the Excel can be sent to us in the way you want. We have a possibility to set in that sense like a secure Teams folder, for example, in place, so that you can directly upload it to that we don't need to go like through like emails or something. If you want to have it more secure, that's definitely a possibility to put it in these folders in. Yeah.
And like the first time we set it up, and therefore next to that, we, like Scotty said, we create this environment where you can each like paste in the new data, so that you don't need us to refresh the data in the tool again. Madeleine, I see, are you GDPR compliant? Yes, since GDPR is of course about personal data. There is no personal data included in the B Corp, in the B impact assessment questionnaire. Also, if you look at the BLab's website, there are also just all the answers that all B Corps have given. So B Corp is about being transparent, and so that's why there's no problems with GDPR compliance.
Yeah. So there's the question from Lieselotte. So what is your vision on these? Our vision is that we make it possible to connect the B Corp tooling we have at the moment with possible general KPIs companies should put in place for them, so that they really can move towards a sustainable company. So the biggest part we are working on is really with companies to set up people, planet, and profit KPIs. That's the biggest consulting part we're working on with clients. So we are looking on how can we incorporate that within the B Corp tooling, that you can actually be supported in then helping them to really set targets beyond the B Corp certification, really help them to like set KPIs and goals for their companies to move forward to really become a bigger sustainable company, so that we can link it together with that, but also can link it, make an automated system for integrated reporting and global reporting initiative, that it actually connects with these standards as well. But that is that's why we are like constantly like looking and seeing what your questions are, how is it usable, and how we can also connect with that. So that's what we are working behind the screens on, really like connecting all the criterias of the reporting, the management dashboards, and the criteria lists of like certifications. So to really make it automated. That's why we are really sitting on focusing on the tooling with Move to Impact, and don't want to move that much into the change consulting part. That's why we are meeting up with you as well, because we are not that interested to like lead everyone through the process, but really help with practical tooling for the B leaders. If that answers it, Lieselotte, you can unmute yourself as well, yeah.
Adding to that, what we currently we have these two tools, but we're on our website adding tools and templates that can be used within the B impact assessment process. So we already have available like the presentation slides to talk about what is a B Corp, how to become a B Corp, what are the benefits, like that people like or you or organization itself can use that presentation to convince others why you should start this B Corp movement. We have also like a B Corp requirement booklet and checklist where we put in like all the requirements that you can get points for, and a checklist whether you have them already, yes or not, so that you can use that before filling in the BIA to see like high level, are we there, are we having things in place, or are we just like really at the beginning, and maybe then you first should go through the requirements checklist before filling in like the 200 questions in the BIA. So we are also working on the templates for the different policies that are in the BIA. So we really want to make it easy for people to work on this and to start, since we believe in that, the first steps are the hardest. And if people are convinced that making a change is doing it for the right reasons, then it's not really, it doesn't really depend on whether it's for B Corp or just because of intrinsic motivation to become a sustainable organization. We just have to start moving.
Yeah. So yeah, indeed, the templates and policies would be very helpful. Indeed, that's what we hear as well. So we are working on to create really an overview and to offer them on our tooling platform on our website. The new website with all the toolings will be on next week. But for the policies, we need a little bit longer to get there. We are right on it, basically, to put them all on. But we will definitely put a big post out when this is available, so that you can also like download them from there as well. Yeah. Would these be B Corp approved policies? Good question. We first now have the priority. Completely honest with you, priority of getting all the policies, basically, to have a possibility. But we definitely also want to approve that, indeed, like if that's all right, if these are the right things, but also approve them for like international law giving, and like also like country specific law giving. We will check it first in Europe, but then also obviously with the United States. So we will move from that forward. Yeah. This is the planning with the policies from us for you guys.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah. You can also unmute yourself and can ask us something. Yeah.
If there's a limit to the number of users, no. If you like buy a subscription, you get access to the tool via a link that nobody will ever get out of the top of their head. And so it's like you pay for the tool and you use it. So then everybody is able, with the help of the link, to watch it. So no limit in user.
And number of users in the sense of like per company, everyone can look at it. So, but every subscription is for one company basically, and then the next subscription is for another client of yours. Yeah. Yeah. is there also something which is missing for you at the moment, where you say like, hey, this would be actually really helpful in such a data-driven tool? I see everyone.
Yeah. And like we already mentioned, our main focus of Move to Impact is really to look in the sustainability KPIs. So if you are guiding an organization and they have their objectives in place, but don't really know how to measure it and to work on it and really to show the progress on the goals, we have some tooling. We create tooling for that as well. So if you want to, look into that as well. I look on the website in the Measure and Communicate Impact and Interactive Impact dashboard, and contact us so we can chat about it. Donna, well, we talked about it already. Yeah, the UK companies will be in UK format, and Gary, automatic translations would be great. Yeah, that would be amazing. But
so we also like a little bit on the B Corp tooling, depending on that in that sense. Since, for example, the BIA wasn't available so far in German, for example. So we are waiting on that. This is definitely coming. We hear it also like from the internal sources from B Labs, especially also because the B Labs team in Germany is expanding a lot at the moment, since they just put everything up. Yeah.
So what could be possible is when you download the BIA data and put the Excel first in Google Translate and then use that to put it in the tool, then you have a kind of your translation. I'm not there for the grammar, but it could be possible in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That could be something. Yeah.
There seems to be a lot of information in it, maybe not including the text of the entire question in the overviews. Missing caption, but a summary, the topic would make it cleaner visual. We thought about that, but since it's about the questions, and if you want to like fill in the questions and you cannot really find the question anymore, then it will be even more frustrating. So if you click on the question at the top, there will be like the impact topic and working of impact area that it's concerning, so that you can use that to look in the BIA, like, okay, we are working on this question, we have to look in the website of the B impact assessment where to make the change. So we really want to make it as linkable as possible, that it's not like, okay, you're in our tool and then have a hard time converting it back to the BIA again. Yeah. But thanks for the feedback.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, we also kind of at our 45 minutes time slot. So if there are not any questions left, then we want to thank you a lot for being here. Hopefully we've convinced you that we can help you make your B Corp journey less frustrating, and dive into the to-dos immediately instead of hating Excel for it. And Marlon and Press, sign me up. You can sign up via our website. Subscribe, and we'll take care of implementing the tool.
Amber, you can directly set the link as well in the chat if you want. Thank you so much, Madeline, for that. Yeah, that's what we want to try to help you guys with. Yeah. So that's good to hear. Good to hear that it supports your need more. That is the part, definitely. And I hear like everyone is like nodding and like happy on this Friday. So I'm happy to see that. Yeah, let us know. Contact us also afterwards. We will have the video as well recorded, so we will send it to you. So we have a little email afterwards, so where you have all the links also present. And So therefore, we're wishing you a good Friday, I think, and a good weekend. Thank you so much, and have a good day. Bye bye to everyone.
Thanks very much. Bye.
Welcome.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.